Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Too Far Away Adventures. Or maybe today I have to say not too far away adventures, because this don't look like Wyoming to me, and probably not to you. Corn and soybeans for as far as the eye can see. And so I guess I have some explaining to do. I am not in Wyoming. I am in between Winona, Illinois and Harvey, Illinois, and I'll talk more about why that is later, because I'm not at home. I'm about 3 hours south of Oshkosh right now. But the reason I am here today is because on day 30, let's see, it would have been day 33 of the trip, I woke up in the morning with a really bad back. I mean, really bad. I could barely walk. I had tweaked it in the night getting back into my tent, and by the time I got up in the morning, I was in probably the worst pain I can ever remember being in my life. It was bad. Fortunately, I was still with Mark and Roxanne. We were camping out at a campground right at the base of Teguati Pass, and they helped me get packed up, and I was able to ride my bike about a quarter of a mile back down to a lodge that was near the camp that we stayed at. And long story short, I ended up being taken by ambulance to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I was treated in the emergency room there. They told me it would probably be several weeks before I could, before I recovered from this. And so I made the decision that I would fly home the next day, which I did. And I arrived home the day before 4th of July. On 4th of July, I was back in the emergency room again because I literally couldn't stand the pain anymore. And got treatment that day. I tried to have an MRI the following week. I couldn't lay on the table long enough for them to do it, so they had to reschedule it. I didn't end up getting it for, I think, about 10 more days after that. And when I finally did, they discovered I had a severely herniated hernia in my spine. And so I've been getting treated for that. And it is now August 7th. So I've been back a little over a month, and I'm actually back. I'm in pretty good shape now. I'd say I ended up getting, instead of having surgery or just waiting this out, I had an injection for it, and it really worked well for me. I know it doesn't always for all people, but I was literally better the next day. I was probably 50% better the next day, and that was about 10 days ago I had that, and I'm probably 80% now. I'm still having a little bit of difficulty walking any distance, but I have been out, as you can see, on my bike. And today I'm about 10 miles into a 20-mile trip over to Henry, Illinois, and I'll tell you more about that when we get rolling here again in a minute. But so I've been riding, and it's starting to look like I'll probably be able to, at the end of next week, go back out to Wyoming and resume the trip. I'm really hoping for that. And if not, I think as long as I can get started by about Memorial Day, I'd still be able to finish by the end of October, and I would be happy with that. West Central Illinois, just some little winding hills. I mean rolling hills, not winding. They don't wind here. About every 5 miles I get a curve. Rolling through the town of Henry, Illinois. Population 2,500. On the Illinois River. Into Shandy's here, and hey, there's some touring cyclists in here, touring bikes and loaded up burly trailers. These look strangely familiar to me. We need to go in and find out who's riding these. All right, I'm gonna go in here and sneak up on these wayward tourists that are in here, these people out riding bikes across the middle of Illinois. Well, that's just crazy. Well, those people look like, they look like people that ride bikes. And they've got this bar all to themselves. Who is this?
Who is this?
Not Roxanne and Mark,
Harry.
my traveling companions from Wyoming. And we're filming each other.
Wow.
I found you.
Here.
Yeah, now how could that happen? What a coincidence. I have no reason to be riding east across Illinois, and here you guys are. I run into you.
Yeah, we just run into each other.
Yeah, random. Kind of like the first time we met, almost. We had a little help with that one, getting connected. But you all will remember my traveling companions from Wyoming when I had to stop my ride. They were with me the last day, the last two, and they continued on, and they're out here in the middle of Illinois now, still headed towards Maine. And we planned this yesterday. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks when they were out in Nebraska, but we're together now, and they're going to ride back over to Henry with me, and I got some real good news about Henry for them, so we'll sit down and have a drink and get a cold drink in us and then head out. So we'll get back on the trail here in a bit. So here we are in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and Mark is changing Roxy's battery. He's going for a record today. His fastest time was what, Mark?
I don't know.
We don't know. So this will be his fastest time.
That's right.
Yeah,
As far as you know.
as far as I know. Until tomorrow. Took him about 2 minutes there. That's kind of like a pit stop at Indy. You gotta have the fuel tanks closed and the tires on and the jacks out, and then we stop timing you. So here we go. I have to lead because I'm so fast and so powerful climbing these high Illinois hills. I know, look at them, they're just disappearing off into the distance behind me. Oh, this has been such a fun day. Meeting old friends, and they feel like old friends. I've only known them for a couple of months, and man, Mark walked out of that bar, a restaurant, whatever it was. Wow, it just warmed my heart. So we're gonna ride on over here to Winona. They're having tonight they have their Winona Days. Starts tonight, runs through the weekend. At the park where Mark and Roxanne are gonna be camping, they have a lot of the festivities, and there's some things going on there tonight. We're gonna hang out for a while and visit. They're gonna camp there, and I'm gonna go home later. And they're having a pork chop cookout, so we're gonna be going for that too. Welcome back, everybody, and I just wanted to add a little bit of an addendum here to my trip down to Illinois to meet Mark and Roxanne, and to give you all a little bit of an explanation of where I've been for the past month and almost a half now. I guess it's been about 6 weeks I've been off the road, and we arrived back at Winona on Thursday evening. I think we got back there about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a very hot day. I was pretty worn out just riding that 40 miles that day. It took a lot out of me. It was pretty hot, and I haven't been out riding a lot over the past 6 weeks. I think I mentioned that I've only been really back on the bike for about 10 days since I herniated a disc in my back. Back on July 2nd. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about getting back to Winona on Thursday night with Mark and Roxanne. Before I had left to go over to Henry to meet them on Thursday, I stopped by the city hall to see if there was a place they could camp in town. Adventure Cycling said that there's camping in the city park there, and their maps are usually pretty accurate with that sort of information, but I just kind of wanted to confirm that was okay there. Mark and Roxanne hadn't talked to anybody over there yet, and they wanted to camp there that night if there was camping available. And I actually met a wonderful woman named Sheila that was she's the town hall manager, and she actually took me for a little ride in her side-by-side over to the park and showed me around, and she explained to me that they were going to be having their Winona Day celebration over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or this weekend, finishing up this weekend, and that there'd be quite a bit of activity over there. And so she wanted to kind of lay out where they might want to set up to camp over there. And as it turned out, when we got back, all that was going on anyway, and we would have had to find someplace a little bit outside or right on the edge of the park to camp anyway. But Sheila showed me around over there. She told me that the next door neighbor, whose property abuts the camp there, would allow us to camp in his yard. And as it turned out, when we arrived back at the park there on
Thursday evening that Jerry, the next door neighbor, actually met us as we were rolling into the park, and he showed us where Mark and Roxanne could camp in his yard. They found a nice little spot kind of in the shade, and Jerry actually offered to bring a tent out to put up over us or over them to give us a little bit more shade, but it was getting late in the day and we didn't really feel that we needed that. He brought chairs out. He brought a power cord out so Roxanne could plug her bike into the, to get her bike battery plugged in, and so they could charge their electronics. And just unbelievably friendly and hospitable gentleman Jerry turned out to be. And we met his wife as well, and for the life of me, I cannot remember her name, and I hate that when that happens. But Jerry and his wife were just wonderful to us. They spent some time with us that evening while we were having dinner. We actually ate over at their house, got food over at the park, and walked over to their house and sat out on their patio and had dinner with them, and sat and talked for quite some time. Sheila showed up over at the park shortly after Jerry met us there, just to make sure that we were getting all settled in. They do have showers there for those of you that are camping in the park there. You have to call the City Hall, and the number on the Adventure Cycling map, I believe, is correct, and you will get a hold of somebody there. You'll be able to get a hold of Sheila, and I think they have a cell number on there for her, or backup number as well. I don't have a copy of that map because I wasn't traveling that part of the road as part of my trip, but I believe that is the case. Just a wonderful place to stay if you're passing through Winona. Bikepacking, traveling across the country, whatever you're doing, backpacking, just camping. A great place to camp. The park is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's well shaded. They got big old trees in there. You got a lot of neighbors around that surround the park, and the park just kind of runs into their yards, which is really, really nice. And you're going to meet, I'm telling you right now, this is a friendly town. You're going to meet some people if you camp there. And we had a wonderful time there that night. As I said before, I will be returning to Wyoming, hopefully next weekend, and resume my trip. And we will be updating when that happens, and the videos will start flowing back to YouTube, and you will be able to follow along as I've hopefully, prayerfully finish this journey to New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and I'm thinking that's going to be sometime in late October. So we will see you out there on the trail.